find another job.
I'm quitting.
Quitting. Now wait a minute, Miss Jessup.
I don't want to quit, Mr. Pickens, but I have to.
But why? You can't quit. What will I do without you?
I have no choice.
Well, aren't you happy here, Miss Jessup? Donut?
No thanks. I'm on a diet.
Well, if the workload is too much, then we can,
Oh, the work is fine. In fact, there isn't very much to do since business is so bad. With all the crime in the city, you'd think a private detective would always have clients.
we're in a temporary downturn. That's all. Things will pick up.
But you haven't paid me in 3 months.
Oh.
My landlord's going to throw me out of my apartment if I don't pay the rent this month.
So that's all it is? That's no problem. No problem at all. Why didn't you tell me?
You mean you can pay me?
I can do better than that.
You will?
Sure. Why don't you move in here?
Here?
I won't charge you much rent, and nobody uses this office at night. What's this landlord charging you anyway?
No, I don't think I can move in here.
Why not? The bathroom's right down the hall.
It's filthy.
Well, close your eyes. That's what I do whenever I use it.
That's probably part of the problem.
Complain to the management and have the bathroom clean more often.
It's not just the bathroom.
No, let's not do anything rash, Miss Jessup. And speaking of rashes, did that nasty rash of yours ever clear up?
Yes, the doctor said I probably got it from using that filthy bathroom.
Great, we're back in the bathroom. Let's be rational. Let's stop and look at the big picture.
Beyond the bathroom, you mean?
Right. Forget the filthy bathroom. If you move in here, think of all the time and money you'd save traveling back and forth to work each day. I'll even stop charging you for coffee.
No, I don't think it would work.
And you've got the microwave. Where is the microwave?
Don't you remember? It exploded
It did?
months ago. Remember when I was almost electrocuted?
Oh, right. How is your hand?
Well, I've got the feeling back in most of my fingers.
That's great. And remember, I never charged you for that microwave.
It was a piece of junk.
You're absolutely right. It was junk. Don't you worry. We'll get you another microwave.
Another one?
Sure. When you move in here, bring your microwave with you. And if you've got a small refrigerator, then...
No. I can't move in here because I've already applied for another job.
What? Miss Jessup, here, please sit down. I have something to tell you. May I call you Hortense?
Yes, I suppose so.
Hortense. Such a lovely name.
You really think so? I never liked it.
Oh, I do. I think it fits you like a glove. A boxing glove. Have you ever boxed, Hortense?
Boxed? Good heavens, no.
Oh, I don't mean professionally. Are you sure you never boxed? Oh, how I'd love to go a few rounds with you in the ring. And speaking of rings, I've noticed you aren't wearing any. Does that mean no one has corralled you yet, my little Mustang?
Corralled me? Mustang?
Do I have to draw you a picture? Have you no Hortense?
What are you talking about?
Hortense, I have to tell you something that's been eating away at me like maggots.
Maggots?
Oh, horsefly. I mean, Hortense. Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you.
What? Oh, Mr. Pickens, this is so unexpected.
Unexpected? Call me Lou.
Lou, I never imagined you and me.
Oh, horse feathers, don't play innocent with me. Haven't you noticed how I look at you with my big, brown, manly eyes? How could you not have noticed my sweep? Why, every time I get close to you, I practically swoon.
Swoon?
Right. Swoon, you loon.
Loon? Loon.
Yes, you're such a lovely little loon. Such a darling, graceful little bird. Tweet, 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 tweet.
Loon. Any of several large, short-tailed, web-footed, fish-eating birds? A crazy or simple-minded person?
Well, I may not know my birds, but I do know my heart flutters whenever you enter the room. Of course, it may only be indigestion, but...
Indigestion?
Do you have it too, my little cuckoo? You'll have to lay off those greasy donuts. You can't leave me, Hortense. I could never live without you.
But...
Mrs. Hortense Pickens. Oh, the very sound makes my spine tingle. And I'll tell you a secret. It's not every woman who can make my spine tingle, you little spine tingler, you.
Oh, Mr. Pickens.
Lou, after all, we're practically engaged.
Engaged?
Well, if we're gonna get married, don't you think we should get engaged first?
Married?
Let's not put the wagon before the horse, Hortense. First we'll get engaged, and then,
Lou Pickens, you are nothing but the scum of the earth. That's what you are.
Elsie, sweetheart.
Don't you sweetheart me, you weasel, you.
Who's this?
Weasel? Is that any way to speak to the man you love?
Oh, I get the picture now.
Ugly, isn't it? Lou Pickens, you're nothing but a two-tiny
Snake in the grass.
Ow! Elsie, I'm surprised at you. Hitting an unarmed man?
Here's another surprise.
Ow! You told me you never boxed. Listen, Elsie, there's an explanation.
Explanation, Pop. I never want to see you again.
What about our honeymoon and our plans?
Honeymoon, Pop. What if I go to Viagra Falls with you for the last man on earth?
Not Viagra. Niagara Falls.
And here's your cheap ring.
Cheap, do you know what that ring cost me?
A bunch of sterile box tops.
Oh, so you saved them too?
I never want to see you again. It's over. Over. Why do I always pick the losers?
Men, they're all alike.
You can say that again.
Well, hey, my coat rack.
It's my coat rack. I thought so I'd have a place to hang my coat, you cheapskate.
A miserable two-timing cheapskate.
Right.
Well, if you can't respect the man, at least respect the hat. Great, now I'm a secretary, a girlfriend, and a coat rack. And I really like that coat rack. Women, I've got to find that cheap ring.
Mr. Pickens.
Oh, Mrs. Crespo, what a delightful surprise.
Surprise? Yes, delightful. I couldn't disagree more.
Donna?
What are you doing on the floor?
I was, dusting for fingerprints.
There's so much dust in here, you hardly need to add more. There's probably Civil War soldiers' fingerprints preserved in all this snow.
Anyone you recognize?
And just why would you need to dust your own office for fingerprints?
We've, had a break-in last night.
Not much of a private detective if you can't protect your own office from break-ins.
Oh, this sort of thing happens from time to time, even to the best of us. Some very valuable things are missing.
My cat among them?
Oh, no, the search for Prince William continues uninterrupted, I assure you. I have an operative working on the case as we speak, and I expect to break in any minute. I mean a breakthrough.
You needn't bother telling me any more preposterous lies, Mr. Pickens. Prince William has been returned. No thanks to you.
What? Why, that's impossible. I mean, that's incredible.
Looking for something? Perhaps a cat you've had hidden under your desk for the past 2 weeks while I've been worried sick about my poor willy-nilly?
Why, Mrs. Crespo, has anyone ever told you what lovely eyes you have? Oh. Well, I've been working day and night and day to recover your willy-nilly.
Prince William to you.
I've left no stone unturned.
Speaking of stone, I wonder which one did you slither?
What?
And don't try anything with me. I'm armed.
Armed?
You heard me, armed. And there's people that know I'm here.
Mrs. Crespo, may I call you Gertrude?
You most certainly may not.
Gertrude, such a lovely name. Here, please sit down, Gert. I mean, Mrs. Crespo. Mrs. Crespo, there must be some misunderstanding.
There's no misunderstanding. You listen to me, you miserable scoundrel. I spoke to the little neighbor boy you hired to find my cat, and he told me everything.
Why, that two-timing little...
And it only took a bag of chocolate chip cookies for him to turn you in.
What, a Crespo stooping to bribery? I'm shocked. Mr. Crespo would be rolling over in his grave.
I'll have you know my husband knows the value of a bribe.
Oh, right, a politician.
And what I didn't learn from the little neighbor boy, I got from your secretary.
What, Miss Jessup? And she told me she was on a diet. No wonder she rejected my donut. She already stuffed her face with your chocolate chips.
Miss Jessup called me this morning and told me she felt horrible that you've been making me suffer and charging me $400 a day to search for the cat you had hidden, waiting me for my money when you had Prince Williams all along. Thanks, little Polly Perkins.
You can't trust anybody. I should have known. That kid had shifty eyes.
And what did you pay him for finding my cat?
Oh, the, standard rate.
$2.
And don't forget I threw in a root beer as a bonus.
Well, I give your secretary a $500 bonus for it.
What?
You're a crook, Mr. Pickens, a despicable crook, and I'll see that you pay for your hideous crimes and pay dearly.
Now, let's not be vindictive. I'm sure we can work something out.
You're a fool, Mr. Pickens.
Well, if you insist, but about Mrs. Crestpool. Not Crestpool, Jessup. She's a disgruntled employee looking for revenge. You read about this sort of thing all the time on the news. Disgruntled employee snaps and goes berserk. Why, just this morning I caught her sneaking out with my coat rack under her skirt. Who knows what else she's got under there? I mean, she's just...
You'll be doing an inside job, inside a prison cell.
But Mrs. Crestpool,
I assure you, Mr. Pickens, that we shall meet again, in court. If Prince William could talk, you can bet we'd have him on that witness stand. Oh, the tales he'd tell.
cattails, huh?
I guarantee you his psychiatrist will be there to testify. Your days are numbered, Mr. Pickens. Make no mistake about that.
But Mrs. Crestpool, you old mule. And I'm gonna find that cheap ring. Maybe I can pawn it before it turns green. Don't kill me.
That's exactly what I should do.
Ah, Danielle. Darling, am I glad to see you.
Oh, really? Darling? You were supposed to take me to lunch, remember? That was 2 hours ago, after standing me up last night.
I, had to work late last night.
Uh-huh. So you said. You also said you'd make it up to me by taking me to lunch at that fancy new French restaurant. And like a sap, I believed you.
Danielle, sweetheart, there's an explanation.
I'm sure there is. And don't you, Danielle, sweetheart me, what were you doing on the floor?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. I was on the floor because, I was almost killed.
Almost killed?
I was, robbed. I was at my desk finishing up some work when these two thugs came in.
Uh-huh.
You've got to believe me, Danielle. Look at this place. They ransacked it. Got to believe me, please.
I don't believe a word. Do you really expect me to believe this cock and bull story?
Oh, Danielle, you've got to believe me. It was my money or my life.
Well, in that case, you should be dead, because you never have any money. Who pays for dinner? I do. Who pays for the movie? I do. Who pays for popcorn? I'll tell you who. I do. You're too cheap to even pay for the popcorn. And if you even bothered to show up for lunch today, I would have paid for that too.
Oh, Danielle, Mon Cherie.
Don't you Moncherie me, you knock-knee chickpea.
Danielle, I never thought you'd need a man who was down.
Try me.
Oh, but my little chickadee, you can't imagine the day I've had. First night, my secretary walks out on me, then I get beat up and robbed, and worst of all, I miss lunch at a fancy, expensive, romantic French restaurant with the most gentlest, most kindest, most loving woman in the world.
Well, I don't believe a word of that ridiculous story of yours. But is that perfume?
Perfume? I'm not wearing any perfume.
Whose perfume is that? It's all over you.
Oh, that must be,
I suppose you're gonna tell me the guys that beat you up were wearing French perfume?
no, it's Miss Jessup's. This morning when she told me she had to quit, she just laid her head on my shoulder and just bawled her eyes out.
I'll bet.
Wait, I have a great idea. Why don't you take her place?
Me? Work for you?
Think of it, we'd be together all day and maybe a little overtime with any luck.
Don't even think about it. Besides, I've got a job. A paying job.
But not with me.
Blue honey, I consider that a French benefit. Goodbye and good riddance. Or as I say at that French restaurant I didn't get to go to, au revoir.
Au revoir. French restaurant, my derriere. What's wrong with good old American food anyways? Cheeseburgers, donuts, French fries. No, I've really got to find that ring. Is that you, my sweet, ready to kiss and make up, my little bonbon?
I am not your little bonbon.
Oh, I can't believe this is happening?
Pickens, you're 2 months behind on your rent.
Oh, Mrs. Higglesbottom, what a delightful surprise.
It'd be a delightful surprise if you had your rent.
The rent? Oh, my secretary just left to the bank to go get it. She should be back any minute.
You used that excuse last month.
I did.
And the month before, you had to pay the ransom money for your cousin who was kidnapped. Remember?
Oh, Felice. Did I tell you we got her back? Oh, the kidnappers cut off one of her fingers, her thumb, and we never got it back. That does mean her career as a concert banjo player is kaput, but
You're kaput.
Mrs. Higglesbottom, I have a confession to make.
Do I look like a freak?
No, of course not. Well, at least not in this light. I don't have the money because
I don't have all day.
well, I would have the money if it wasn't for my mother.
What, has she been kidnapped too?
No, she's not well.
What's wrong with her?
She was struck by lightning.
Struck by lightning, huh? I suppose she lost her thumb too.
No, she has all of her fingers. She lost her marbles.
So it's hereditary, huh?
Oh, it's so sad. The poor thing thinks she thinks she's,
Oh, what? I don't have all day.
a dodo.
I don't.
Right. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't let this get around.
Dodos are extinct.
Right. My mother thinks she's an extinct bird. A very large bird, maybe 2-3 feet tall, with a big feet and a big beak and...
What Pickens? What does your mother's delusions of grandeur have to do with you not topping up your rent like everybody else?
Well, I send her money for the psychiatrist. You see, she's got this egg she sits on.
You're telling me your mother lays eggs?
It's not really an egg.
It's not.
No.
Then what is it?
It's a beach ball, but she thinks it's an egg. Oh, it's so sad. She's mad as a hatter, and she's sitting on what she thinks is the very last dodo. She never leaves her nest.
Then how does she get to the psychiatrist?
Well, you see, my aunt and my cousin,
The one who was kidnapped.
right, they carry her and her nest to his office twice a week.
If you think I'm going to believe any of your nonsense, you're...
So this is where my good-for-nothing son works.
Mama,
This sure ain't much. Felicia, be careful what you touch. Who knows what diseases are floating around here.
Mama, what are you doing here?
Taking up on you is what we're doing here.
And Aunt Tessie, another pleasant surprise.
I tried calling, but the phone's been disconnected.
Oh, the lightning storm must have knocked it out.
Probably didn't pay the phone bill.
And dear Felice, another surprise.
It's funny how it's dropping your nostrils.
Still the same sweet-natured Felice.
Don't touch me, you pestilence.
So, Mama, what brings you here?
I'll tell you what brings me here. Do you ever call to tell me if you're dead or alive?
He does not.
Do you ever call to see if I'm alive or dead?
No, he does not.
No, you're too busy with your big city living, romancing your fancy ladies to think about your poor mama working her fingers to the bone. Not even a card on Christmas. Not even my birthday.
Which was yesterday.
Not even on Mother's Day.
You worm.
I sent you a card on Mother's Day.
That was 3 years ago, and it was to ask for money.
Which I advised her not to send.
And she was right.
As usual.
She told me it'd be like flushing money down the drain.
Uh-huh.
So this is your mother.
Who's this?
This? Oh, this is,
I
my...
own this building, and I've come to collect the rent, which he doesn't have.
Well, no surprise there.
Don't expect me to pay his rent. I spent my money on the train fare.
He was telling me all about you.
Really? I'm surprised he remembers who I am. Does he ever come home?
No.
Does he ever call her out?
No.
He's a deadbeat.
Always was a deadbeat.
Did you bring your egg?
My what?
Your boyfriend was just telling me how you think you're a dodo, and all you do all day is sit around and try to hatch your egg.
A dodo.
Hatch my egg? What the devils are you talking about?
Ever since you were struck by lightning.
Struck by lightning? Luke Pickens, what the dickens are you
their thumb grew back.
Always was a win.
Flyers laying eggs in his orifices as he sleeps.
Higgins, you got until tomorrow to come up with that rent money. Is that clear? No later. After tomorrow, pack your things and get out.
What?
You heard me. Get out.
Streets are where you got all this stuff in the first place.
Well, it looks like you're up to your same old tricks as usual. What are you doing telling people your mama's a nutcase? What is wrong with you? What have you got in that thick head of yours? Hunting for brains?
Now I do.
He's always had pudding for brains.
Mama, I've had a string of bad luck.
You are a string of bad luck.
Always was. Someday they'll string them up.
I'm surprised they ain't done it yet.
Oh, Lou! Who's this?
This is, I have no idea. So this is the jerk, huh? Choking on you from good bro. He'll choke on his own tongue after I cut it off.
That's a good idea. I'm sure there's one in the does. You told me to meet you at the courthouse. Where were you? I waited for forever and you never came. Courthouse? You been arrested again? This is our wedding day.
Some wedding? The bum never even showed up. I even borrowed a suit for the occasion. I knew he wouldn't show. I know his type.
What? Oh, you poor little thing.
Well, honey, you sure dodged the bullet this time.
What's your name, sweetie?
Rosa Ravioli, and this is my brother Tony.
I'm Maybelle Higgins, Lou's mama, but don't let it get around the neighborhood. And this is his Aunt Tessie, and that's his cousin Felice.
By a cool twist of fate.
Where's your bathroom?
Right down the hall. But I'm not sure you want to use it. Nobody dumps my sister at the altar and lives to tell about it. Hey, give me those scissors. They're extremely sharp. Give them to me before you cut yourself.
I know this place isn't meant to body.
But there's an explanation. Save it.
For the maggots.
Right, save it for the maggots.
What in the world?
Aunt Tessie found the bathroom.
Tessie, what happened?
Oh, warn me.
I hope you didn't flush. Sometimes it overflows.
Flush? You couldn't pay me to use that filthy thing. That's the vilest, most disgusting bathroom I ever seen. And believe me, I've seen plenty. That one takes a cake.
Okay.
Hey.
You promised we'd have a wedding cake.
Hey.
Oh, I promise you, sweetie, you will have a wedding cake.
Oh, you are despicable. I raised you better than this.
Oh, Mama.
Don't you butt mama me out and box your ears in. I don't think I can.
You should have done it a long time ago.
It's never too late.
Look at this poor little creature. You mean he stood you up at the altar? You are despicable. Only a worm would do a low-down, snake-in-the-grass thing like that.
Oh, he is low down. If he were any more low down, he'd be in the ground.
Mate's body become bloody blisters, oozy boils. Oh, Lou, why didn't you come?
Look at her flowers. They've all wilted, you jerk. Do you know what I paid for these flowers? They're plastic. So?
Don't you worry, little Rosa. Lou will get you flowers, real flowers.
Probably steal them off somebody's grave.
May a vulture rip out your intestines.
Hey, leave my intestines out of this. They'll be out all right.
Look at this girl, a prettier girl you've ever seen. Too pretty for the likes of you.
A warthog would be too pretty for the likes of him.
Wait till I see what it looks like when I'm done with him.
Don't you have any sense at all? A pretty girl like this, you're gonna marry? Oh, I oughta.
This about him with the rusty spoon?
Ooh, a rusty spoon. That's even better than scissors.
I'm sure there's one somewhere in this bed. It's full of revolting things.
Like the bathroom.
There's even a rotten apple up here.
There's more than one rotten apple around here.
Well, it's a good thing we showed up when we did. Did I get an invite to the wedding?
Of course not.
But Mama...
Don't you? Hush your mouth. Where's this courthouse, sweetie?
A few blocks away.
Come on! You promised you were gonna marry a girl. You were gonna marry her.
But I can't marry her. I lost the ring. That's why I didn't meet you at the courthouse, Rosa. I lost the ring and I was looking all over for it.
I don't believe you.
You've got to believe me. Look at my poor knees if you don't.
Nobody wants to see your ugly, hairy knees. Let's go, mate.
Look at all this cat food. Is this your lunch for the week, you weirdo?
Hey, leave those alone. My cat ran away, and
Well, look what I found. A ring.
A wedding ring?
Used by this grimy garbage can.
The garbage can's probably where he got it the first place.
well, you sure do have good eyes, Felice.
The eyeballs drop from your socket.
And splatter like eggs.
I guess it's a good thing we showed up today, huh?
You can say that again.
Won't be the first time a good woman's turned a good-for-nothing man around. I did the same thing to your worthless father.
Rotten apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Well, let's get a move on. We need to get a new bouquet of flowers for the bride.
And some dirty nightshade for the groom.
Don't forget your wallet, Lou.
Probably wasn't nothing in it anyway.
Hey, my wallet's gone.
And give me that ring before you lose it.
Rosa, you sure got your work cut out for you.
Now don't you worry, little Rosa. Lou's turning over a new leaf. His new wife, his mom are gonna make sure of that. Right, Rosa? And after we get done with the ceremony, we'll come back and pack everything up.
What?
You're coming back to the farm to do some real work.
Mama, you know I'm allergic to chickens.
You're allergic to work.
Looks like we showed up right in time. You're getting evicted.
You're a chicken farmer?
Pickens chickens.
No kidding. Pickens chickens. That's some big town chicken farming.
But I'm not in the chicken business anymore.
What do you mean you're not in the chicken business anymore?
You know if you ever called me.
What happened to the chickens?
I sold them.
Did you make a lot of money?
I did.
How much?
None of your business. Enough.
What did you spend it on anyways?
Ostriches.
Ostriches?
There's a real big market for ostrich meat these days. They're all the rage in them fancy restaurants.
I've always wanted to live on an ostrich farm.
Aren't ostriches really big birds?
A lot bigger than the likes of you.
A lot smarter, too.
They can get up to 8 feet tall. Really?
You don't say. 8 feet.
And they're mean.
Big and mean.
And you cannot run them.
But they're real money makers.
Lou, I'm thinking of putting you in charge of the egg division.
He'd be better in the manure division.
Manure?
We sell that too. It's great fertilizer.
Reeks.
And I'm thinking of putting Rosa here in plumage.
Plumage?
Feathers. Do you not know anything?
Dumb as a rock.
Always was.
I say we're doing pretty good if I say so myself.
A lot better than the likes of you from the looks of things. Didn't even find the wedding ring. Private detective.
And somebody went and picked your pocket too.
Yeah, I wonder who.
Who knew ostriches can make so much money? You are one smart businesswoman, Miss Pickens.
The feathers are flying out the door, the meat's selling like hotcakes, and the eggs are going as soon as they're laid.
And folks can't get enough of that manure. It stinks to high heaven, but the corn and the soybeans eat it up like it's cotton candy.
Rosa, you're gonna love living on a farm, sweetie. There's never a dull moment.
But there is a downside. What's that? You'll be hitched to Lou.
Now don't you worry, little Rosa. If Lou don't treat you right, we'll stick the ostriches on him.
Mama!
In less than 5 minutes, there'll be nothing left but bones.
I want songs here particularly just like that. They rip at the flesh till there's nothing left but bone.
Now I'd love to see that.
Oh, we're gonna be so happy, Lou.
Made cough up feathers on his honeymoon.
That'll probably be the high point.
Well, we better get a move on if we're gonna get the ceremony done and catch our train at 6.
Hope there's a decent bathroom there.
And when we get back to the farm, I'm gonna make you a wedding cake, a triple decker with frosting.
And just think, today was the worst day of my life. Now I have a handsome husband and a job on an ostrich farm.
Well, you know what they say, don't count your ostriches before they hatch.
They also say you can't make a silk purse out of a sowsy, or you're a sowsy if I ever saw one, so watch your purse.
Well, let's get a move on. Oh, Lou, fix your pants. I don't want to see you at the altar looking like some demented nudist.
I'm kind of in between jobs right now, and ostriches sound really interesting.
They're real money makers.
Sure sounds like it. Besides, I'll have to keep an eye on that deadbeat cousin of yours. Make sure he treats my little Rosa right.
Oh, he will. Mom makes sure of that. You know, it's awfully nice having you around the farm. I'm sure Mom can find a job for you to do.
Maybe others.
Maybe. And the farm's really big too. The old chicken coop's still empty. You could stay there.
Really?
Though it does need clean out. I could help if you want.
You're sweet.
Sweet? Mom hasn't called me sweet before.
You try her not to be, but deep down, I think you are. Besides, I like unconventional women.
Is that what I am? An unconventional woman?
Right as I walked through that door, I knew you were different.
It's probably my nose. It's called Breath of Death.
Huh?
The nail polish. I got it from Walmart.
Oh, yeah. Right as I saw your nail polish, my heart started pounding like crazy. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom.
It did.
It was so loud I thought you'd hear it from across the room.
How did you hurt me?
And then my blood began to surge and to boil.
It boiled?
Uh-huh. Boil with desire.
Oh, Tony.
In fact, it's boiling right now.